Hey, fourth grade, welcome to Unit 8 and welcome back to our math video series. We are now changing again into a new unit, and this one is better. It lends itself more to our video format where we can learn the lessons at home and bring them back to the classroom. So in our past few lessons, we've been doing a lot of in-class construction of making those 3D boxes and working hands-on with fractions and decimals. This is going to be a little bit different. So welcome back to our videos. Let's get started. This is lesson 1.1, making estimates. Hopefully you've heard that word estimates before. It means close to, not quite, maybe a little bit above, maybe a little bit below, but a close answer, an educated guess. And so in this lesson, we're going to be learning how to estimate solutions of two-digit multiplication problems. So that's a two-digit number times a two-digit number multiplied together, and we're going to find those estimate answers. Then we're going to multiply multiples of 10, which is a review of things we've been doing all year, counting by tens, but it is going to help us out when we're solving some of these problems. To begin today, I want you to try a 10-minute math problem. Instead of 10 minutes, though, I'm going to set the timer for 30 seconds. I would like you to please estimate the answer for this problem. 30 seconds, go. While you're working, please answer these questions in your mind. Are you breaking the numbers apart? Are you changing the numbers in the problem? If so, how and why are you doing that? Is your number higher or lower than the answer? And time's up. Hopefully, you were somewhere around this 400 mark. If I take a look at the number 19, I'm going to adjust that number to 20. If I look at my number 21, I'm going to lower that number or round down to the number 21. And I know that 20 times 20 is 400, or 2 times 2 is 4. Add my two zeros, and I'm going to be right around that 400 mark. Let's try it again. Let me set my timer again for the 30 seconds. And I want you to keep those strategies in mind. Now, there's more than one correct answer, so just because I changed my numbers that way, that doesn't mean that's the only correct answer. Let's see what you can do with this one. This is a tricky one. Be careful with your estimates. And time is up. All right, well, right off the bat, I feel pretty comfortable eliminating 1,000 because if I look at the number 38 times 12, I'm going to change that number 12 to a 10. 10 times 38 gives me 380. Now, don't be so quick to jump to that 380 answer. And if you did, let me explain why 450 is a better answer. 38 times 10 is 380. However, this 2 that we decided to cut off and round down from still needs to be applied to that number. That is essentially saying I still have two groups of 38 to add to my amount. Well, I'm going to round 38 up to 40, and I know that 2 groups times 40 is 80. So I can add about 80 more onto my 380 score, which is going to put me a lot closer to this 450 mark. How'd you do on that one? I tried to stump you a little bit. All right, in this lesson, we are going to be bringing up words that we have discussed in previous lessons, such as estimate, multi-digit, landmark number, and product. Hopefully, all of these words are a review for you, but let's review their meaning. Estimate, like I mentioned at the beginning, is close to or about, but it's an educated guess. We're using some of logical thinking and we're being able to change some numbers or manipulate numbers to get as close to the right answer as possible without being exact. Multi-digit simply means that I have multiple digits or multiple numbers. It would be like the number 27. I'd have a 2 and a 7. Or 1,365 or 1,842, multiple digits. Down below, I'm dealing with landmark number. A landmark number is that safe place to go to. When I'm estimating, maybe I want to round down or round up to a certain item, and that's going to be called a landmark number. And we've used those with addition lines and subtraction lines and all kinds of stuff all year long. And then finally, a product. A product is the answer you get when you multiply. So think about a multiplication sentence. You have a factor times a factor. Remember, those are the numbers that we call when we multiply together. And then we get a product. Well, factor sounds like the word factories. So what do factories make? Products. Something to help you remember. Let's get started. If you have that piece of paper out in front of you, let's work on this problem as well. 28 times 15. I would like you to estimate as close as you can to an answer. Sometimes it helps if you think about a solution where you might need to estimate numbers like this. So for instance, let's pretend that you have 300 students at a school or in a class, and they all need a pencil. And the store sells pencils in packages of 15. Do we have enough pencils if we buy 28 packages? So let's recap that. You have 300 students, they all need a pencil. The store sells packages of pencils in 15. So each package has 15 pencils. If I buy 28 packages, do I have enough pencils to cover my students? So I want you to think about that for a second. Pause the video if you need to, because I want you to be able to explain your thinking. Good luck. All right, so hopefully you thought about this without actually having to solve 28 times 15. Here's one way you could have possibly looked at this problem. Maybe you thought that I know 280 times 10, sorry, that should read 28. I know that 28 times 10 is 280. That's only 10 in a package. So if I change the 15 to 10, 10 times 28 is 280. And that's already really close to 300. I would only need 20 more pencils. So I know that I would have plenty if I buy 28. Another way to think about that problem is to say, well, 2 times 15 is 30. So 20 times 15 is 300. So 28 is at least enough, because 20 would have been okay. Were you thinking along the same lines? We're going to be practicing, and you're going to have to explain your thinking to me tomorrow doing problems exactly like this. Let's try this one. Same scenario of multiplying these two numbers together. I want an estimate, but this time I'm giving you some choices. What is the most likely answer? 100, 800, or 1,000? Take some time, think about it. My guess is that a lot of you maybe guessed 800. Hopefully you eliminated the 100 right away. In fact, let's get rid of that one. But my guess is a lot of you selected 800 because you may have taken this 4 and this 2, multiplied them together and got an 8. Add my 2 zeros for my tens places and I would have 800. However, that's not the correct answer, because we have to take into account, just like that second 10-minute math problem, that this is a 6. This is a pretty large number, and I'm going to have to take 6 more groups of that 40 in there. So what if I told you to think of this number as 40, and instead of thinking of this as 26, think of it as 25? What if I took it a step further and I eliminated this 0 and I just wanted you to think of this as 4 and 25? Hopefully you're thinking 4 and 25, thinking of quarters, of our fractions, of our decimals, of money, that 4 and 25 is going to give me that dollar or that whole or 100. And in this case, if I add that 0, it would give me 1,000. So 1,000 is definitely our correct answer here. Good luck if you got that, or good job if you got that on the first try. Here's my last question for you. It's a brain teaser. Remember, if you can get this question correct and bring me your answers tomorrow, you will earn an extra ticket for our behavior drawing at the end of the day tomorrow. My question for you, my riddle, is how can you add 8 eighths to make 1,000? You can only use addition, and you can only use the number 8, that digit 8, and you can only use 8 of them. See if you can make 1,000. Bring me your answers on a piece of paper tomorrow for that ticket. Have a good night. Hope the snow melts. See you tomorrow.